I know you're an able administrator. What would you say are the goals? If you were sitting in front of the owners and listed the 3 most important goals during your tenure, what would you tell them?
Well, I think the first and most important goal is to pass our game on to a new generation of fans. It's a huge challenge for us. Young people have so many entertainment alternatives out there. I think that we need to work very hard to make sure that what has always been the generational aspect of baseball, fathers to sons, mothers to daughters, continues. Secondly, I think we have a challenge in terms of attracting the best athletes to the game. We need to be more diverse. We need to work very hard to make sure that we continue to have the kind of athletes like Andrew McCutchen, Clayton Kershaw that we have out there today.
Dallas boy.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I'm doing better than the Yankees right now. So, and then the third thing, I think we have to adjust to what is a quickly changing media landscape. The way that people consume content is changing very quickly, and I think we're well positioned to do that with MLB Advanced Media, but it is going to be a challenge for us going forward.
Yeah. You brought up an interesting point. I've never quite understood, and I'm sure you've analyzed this, why we don't get more African Americans to play baseball.
I think that it began with a problem of facilities in the inner city. You know, baseball is not the easiest game to play. You do need adequate facilities to attract people. And I think the competition from both basketball and football is fierce. We get hurt because for both basketball and football, you have the opportunity to get a full scholarship to college. Parents look at that and they see it as an opportunity. College baseball is a little different. They don't have the same kind of scholarships available, and I think we get hurt in that space.
Yeah, and so what is the state of youth baseball in inner cities?
Youth baseball in inner cities is a challenge for us. Baseball has some great programs that have been in place for a number of years. Our sort of broad-based program is called Reviving Baseball in the Inner Cities. The purpose of that program is just to get participation. It's not about elite players. It's about getting kids to play the game. We do that in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. They're a great partner to us, you know, big presence in a lot of inner city locations. Interestingly, a big presence on 300 military bases around the world. So they're a great partner to us there. On the elite development side, baseball's been involved in partnership with the individual teams in developing urban youth academies. First one was in Compton. I recently visited one in Washington that really is an amazing facility. It is a bright spot in a very tough part of Washington. 3 beautiful AstroTurf fields. They actually have college teams from Georgetown. The facility's so good. They come there and they use the facility, and then the Georgetown athletes work with the kids when they come in the afternoon. Enrichment programs in addition to baseball. So we're working hard at trying to restart baseball in some of the areas where it's not been as popular.
Will Mexico City or Monterrey, Mexico, ever have a Major League Baseball team?
I think you will see a time when there's a franchise in Mexico. I think it presents a great opportunity for baseball, not only in terms of the internationalization of the game, but sustained international activity that fits with the travel that's necessary in our game. I also think it presents a real opportunity for us domestically in terms of engaging the Hispanic market domestically. So it's a twofer. I don't think it's a next week issue, but I do see it happening.
What is the state of play in the places like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico in terms of youth baseball and major league involvement with those countries?
Well, it's interesting that you picked those two because I think they're opposite ends of the spectrum. The Dominican remains a hotbed of development. All of our major league clubs have academies there. As a matter of fact,
Every major league club does?
everybody does. And as a result of the situation in Venezuela, what's happened is not only are Dominican players being developed there, but there's players out of Venezuela are being signed and sent to the Dominican to develop. It is free enterprise at its best and worst. And because those young players are free agents and it's a very competitive environment. In contrast, Puerto Rico is covered by the domestic draft. The development efforts in Puerto Rico after the draft was extended to cover Puerto Rico were not as strong. We've worked very hard to develop programs to replace the sort of natural competitive activity of the clubs, and we're starting to see some returns. 2 years ago, the first player in the draft was from Puerto Rico, and we are seeing more players both playing college baseball and going in the draft.